أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected Sheikh Nuru Mohammed, our respected audiences that have joined us for today's session, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for joining in. We have a very interesting discussion today, and we've been joined with Sheikh Nuru to discuss leadership lessons from the life of Imam Ali. And we want to focus specifically in the letter that Imam Ali writes to Malik Ashtar, right? Letter number 53 in Nahjul Balagha, where he discusses different points and different advices that he gives Malik Ashtar as he goes on his responsibility as the leader of Egypt, I believe. Before I start, I would quickly like to remind our audience that today's initiative has been organized by the Core Learning Subcommittee of the Dar Islam Jamaat and the Tabligh Board. Core Learning is the capacity building wing of the 3C subcommittee, whose objective is to foster lifelong learning through direct trainings and virtual learning in the KSIJ Dar Islam community. So for those of us that are interested and want to know more about it, then please go ahead and follow us on YouTube, on our Facebook, and our Instagram account at ksij.corelearning.com. So Sheikh, before we start, the floor is yours. If you can introduce to us very quickly some of the lessons that we can learn, because all of us have read through the life of Imam Ali. More so, most of us have even read through the letter that Imam writes. But sometimes it's those lessons, that really spot out, that require us to mention them again, to remind ourselves of. So if you can spend some time, Sheikh, telling us about these lessons, introducing them to us, and inshallah we can then take inspiration from them.
Thank you so much, my dear brother Ali Asgar. Brothers and sisters, I greet you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. First of all, it is important to thank Almighty Allah for gracing us with this wonderful opportunity to have this very important discussion. It is discussion about leadership. And you cannot think of a successful community without thinking of the leadership behind it. You cannot think of a successful business without thinking of the leadership behind it. You cannot think of a successful state or a country without thinking of the leadership behind it. You cannot think of a successful marriage without thinking of the leadership behind that marriage. You cannot, under any circumstance, discuss the success in regards to all our subcommittees within our communities without focusing on its leadership. As it is said, leadership is the image of every single community. And so therefore, I'm really excited about this topic, and most especially, it is in the eyes or the lens of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. My dear brothers and sisters, leadership is everything that I and you need to strive for and to ensure that it is properly perfected. So what I seek to do in this brief introduction, before we go to the questions and answers session, is to look at leadership from two perspectives. Kindly pay attention, my dear brothers and sisters. The first perspective, when I say two perspectives, what I mean by the first one is general perspective. From the administrative perspective, from the psychological perspective, or from the sociological perspective, if you like. That's the general perspective. And then the specific perspective, which is the lens of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And what Imam says about leadership in this beautiful letter he wrote and gave to Malik Ashtar when he appointed him as a leader or as a governor in Egypt. You see, from the general perspective, what is leadership? Think about it. Most of us are leaders in our own ways. As I said, in your business, you are a leader. In your family, husband and wife, mother, father, you are leaders. We have leaders in our communities. The president, the chairman, the head of Tabligh, the head of that subcommittee, ladies leaders. What is leadership? Leadership simply means to have the power to influence people positively. Underline the word positively. Anyone who influences people negatively, he or she is not a leader. A leader is to have al-quwwa al-ta'thiri fil ghayri, to have the power to influence others and to be able to channel their energies and effort towards achieving your aims and objectives as a leader. That is the definition of leadership from the general perspective. Now, what are the elements of leadership or a good leader? Very important elements. And you'll find these elements in the teachings of Imam Ali al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam later on. The first element of a true and successful leader is having exceptional followers. You can be an exceptional leader. If people are sleepy people, they just go in their caucuses and talk, but during AGM they can't talk, then, Habib, you're not going to succeed properly. I give it to me an example. Imam Ali was exceptional leader, and he had exceptional followers, although they were few, but he succeeded. Imam Hassan was an exceptional leader, but he did not have, in general, exceptional followers. That doesn't mean that Imam Hassan, na'udhu billah, may Allah forbid, failed. No, he succeeded because he paved the way for Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. So a leader who is to succeed must have exceptional followers. So you cannot sit somewhere and say, you know what, our leaders in the community are this and that, when you yourself, you are not exceptional follower. And you will see in the letter of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen to Malik Ashtar also, highlighting on this, that, remove the bad apples, put them in one department according to Imam Ali, park them somewhere. Because those bad apples will destroy your leadership style and they will make it difficult for you to get exceptional followers. The second element of a true leader is what? Power. A true leader has power. And there are two forms of power. We have a central power and we have a personal power. What is central power? Is the power given to you by the constitution of your organization, by the constitution of your country. Say development society, you've got your own bylaws and constitution, isn't it? Anyone who is the leader of development society, he's got some power, some veto given to him by the bylaws of development society. Ladies subcommittee, you've got your own constitution, and the chair lady is given some sort of power by the constitution. That is what we refer to as central power. That is not enough to make you a successful leader. You need personal power. Personal power is a power you make it yourself, you develop it within yourself, and when people see it in you, they then give it to you again. How do you build personal power as a leader, in addition to the central power which is given to you by the organization? Number one is your approach of leadership. Approach is crucial. We will discuss it from Imam Ali. Approach is important. So hence, not every chairman is a leader, and not every tabligh head is a leader. But every leader can be a chairman. Every leader can be a tabligh leader. Not every leader of madrasa is a leader. Not every chairman of development society is a leader. Not every prime minister is a leader. You can be given that post. Literally, yes, you may be called a leader, but truly you are not a leader. So therefore, to gain and build personal power, you need to look at your approach. Number two, you need to look at your knowledge about the affairs of the community. Do you really know your people? Or are you just leading them? Do you really know about the business? Do you understand your employees? Or are you just there because you inherited from your father? So therefore, having that knowledge is crucial. And last but not least point, to build personal power is what? One has to be charismatic. A leader has to be charismatic. Charisma is crucial. That's very, very important. And so therefore, power is the second. First, we said have exceptional followers. Second, power. And last but not least element, before we enter into Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, is what, my dear brothers and sisters? It's mawkif, stands. A leader must have a stand. There will be difficult times when decisions are needed to be taken. There will be times when you need to sign that contract. There will be times when you need to order those goods. You don't have to go into so many meetings. There are exceptional cases like that. So a leader is someone who is able to take a decision at a perfect time when it is needed to be taken. Not istikhara, 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 istikhara. One, going to AG and make 10 times istikhara. Now let's come to Imam Ali alayhi salam, because we are here tonight to discuss the letter of this great leader ever produced on the face of universe after the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. And we are embracing ourselves to commemorate the life of this great personality. What better way to commemorate the life of this personality than to take few practical lessons from the life of Imam Ali alayhi salam? Imam was exceptional leader. He understood his time and understood his people. Look at the background to this letter. You know Nahjul Balagha, my dear brothers and sisters. It is a book we hold very high, without an iota of doubt. It is made up of three main things: the sermons, the letters, and the wisdoms. So tonight we are discussing one of the letters. How did this letter come about? Initially, Muhammad, the son of Abu Bakr, was the governor of Egypt, representing Imam Ali alayhi salam. Then Amr ibn al-As, who was of course with the opposition, who was with those against Imam Ali, really and badly wanted to become the leader of Egypt. He tried everything. So what he did, he gathered 6,000 people, forces, to go to Egypt and cause commotion and remove Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, who was the governor on behalf of Imam Ali. No. Muhammad Abu Bakr heard about this. He quickly wrote to Imam Ali. By then, Imam Ali was in Kufa, as you know very well. When he wrote to Imam Ali, Imam responded to him, assuring him that he will appoint a great general, closest companion to him, trustworthy companion to Egypt. So when did Imam Ali appoint Malik? He appointed him after the Battle of Siffin. Imam Ali appointed Malik. And then he gave Malik this letter on how to govern, on how to lead. And kindly let me give you the gist of this letter, because that is what we're going to discuss tonight, inshallah. And if you have any question, feel free to send the question and we will be glad to discuss it. Amir al-Mu'mineen in this letter, my dear brothers and sisters, explicitly make it clear to Malik Ashtar what leadership is all about. And we are not sitting here tonight talking of leadership of only our community. No. As I said earlier on, think of leadership of whatever kind. Even you, as a brother, senior brother in the house, senior sister in the house, you are a leader. And this will help you. I've come across a great person. I don't want to mention him because some of you maybe know him. He said, when I was appointed director in one of the departments of my university, my manifesto was all about this letter of Imam Ali to Malik Ashtar. And people were amazed in one of the Western countries. And as a result, I got the job. And people were telling me, we've not seen something like this in our lives. You can come up with more than 10 leadership qualities and elements of leadership from this beautiful letter of Imam Ali. Let's look at the first one. And I seek your indulgence. I will quote some of the side of the letter, and then later, inshallah, Hajj Ali Asgar will continue with the questions. The first lesson we learn as a leader, you want to become a leader? This is a very practical lesson from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Imam says, even if you are a leader, you are just a servant of Allah. Think about it. What is Imam Ali trying to highlight here? Imam is trying to highlight that your leadership is not the aim, it's means to the aim. Leadership is means to the aim, it's not the aim itself. So Amir al-Mu'minin said, yes, you are a leader, you've been appointed. You've started the business, that's fine. You are married, mother, father, that's fine. But do not forget, you are Allah's servant. And people are Allah's family. If you treat them well, you are treating Allah's family well. Where did Imam Ali say this? Or say this in the letter? Kindly let me quote. This is what he said right from the beginning. This is what Allah's servant, Ali, Amirul Mu'mineen, commander of the believers, has ordered Malik al-Ashtar in his instrument of appointment for him when he made him governor of Egypt. So you are a servant of Allah. My chairman, my president, my boss at work, you are a servant of Allah. This point is an invitation to be humble. That's the first lesson really we get from this letter of Imam Ali. Look at second one, very practical, especially to the youngsters within our communities. You've got unbelievable potentials. If you use your potentials well, I promise you, and I'm not saying it for saying sake, I know your potential. You are highly educated, alhamdulillah. Sky is the limit. You will be able to take our communities to the next level. You will flourish in your business, and the community will flourish. You know what Amir al-Mu'minin taught? The second point. Know your audience. Who are you leading? Do you know their troubles? Do you know what they need? Excuse my word, Ali Asgar. You know, we have some leaders within our communities. They don't know the sicknesses of the community. Programs are opposite the need of the community. Programs might just be there because we are ticking the boxes. Baba, a leader is the one whose program and manifesto directly affect the community. You don't do program because some people are doing it. No, you are doing it because it is well informed as a result of what scholars in community organizing mention, listening campaign. A leader must conduct listening campaign. This in community organizing. What is listening campaign? Bring people together, let them tell you what do you need. Then after that, you tell them what you expect from them. So Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, not to digress, is teaching us. He told Malik Ashtar, know your audience, Malik. Where are the leaders of the madrasa? Know the children. Where are the leaders of the community? Know the members of the community, the youths, the middle age and the old age. Know them, then you serve them according to their needs. Can you let him quote? Imam Ali said, then know, O Malik, that I have sent you to an area where there have been governments before you. There have been leaders before you in the community, Habibi. It has not begun with you and it will not end with you. So Imam Ali alayhi salam is telling Malik, where you are going, you are not the first governor, and you are not going to be the last governor of that place. Both just as well as oppressive, meaning those who came before you, some of them were just, and some of them were terrible. Baba is like our community, Ali Asgar, isn't it? We had some unbelievable leaders, and some of them would give you stomach pain. So Imam Ali, you know, Allah, Imam Ali, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah. You know, when did Imam speak about this? But look at it, Habibi. It's so relevant in this day and age. Even Irish presidents of our countries, prime ministers, we will really, you know, I need to take this upon myself to try to send some of these letters to some of the local leaders we have here, Habibi. You know, Imam
we
said,
know we can relate to
Imam
every
said,
point that Imam mentioned. Sorry, continue. We were saying we can relate to every point that Imam Ali is bringing
Yeah, so
up.
let me read that line. I said,
Please.
both just as well as oppressive, Imam said. People will now watch your dealings as you used to watch the dealings of the rulers before you. So Malik, now you are a leader. People are going to watch you. They're going to observe you. Because you also used to observe others. You know, it's easier said than done, Ajali Asgar, isn't it? You are not a leader, so you are not in that hot seat. So you can say whatever you want to say. But once you are in there, that's it. You wanted to say something, Abibi, go on.
I'm saying and you're right, because when you're a leader, obviously everyone's looking up to you, right? Everyone's looking at the actions you take. Number one, for inspiration, right? You have that group of the community that are looking up to follow that which you're doing. Then you obviously, as you mentioned, when you know your audience, you also have that group that are looking, maybe they have a bit of enviousness, jealousness that is there. They're also looking at all the actions that you're taking. And it's very delicate that the leader makes the right choice for their audience.
Absolutely, absolutely, Habibi. It's of great importance. And the right choice will only come when we get to know who we are dealing with and who are our people. Otherwise, if you just have it at the back of your mind that, you know what, I'm now a leader now. I'm the boss of this company. I started this company. I worked very hard. I sweat for this company. I'm just going to deal with people anyhow. Then you realize that the success you would like to achieve may not be coming. And so therefore, Imam Ali is telling Malik Ashtar, know your audience, know your people. That's very, very important. The third practical lesson we get from this beautiful letter, which is also very, very important, and I will encourage leaders of our communities to really spend time reading this letter. You know what Imam Ali taught? Imam said to Malik, we are all humans that make mistakes. Be forgiven. Forgive. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect. So you as a leader, in the process of leading people, when someone wrongs you, find place in your heart to forgive that person. Especially those employers within our communities. You employ someone, the person makes mistake and regrets his or her mistake. Find place in your heart to forgive that person. Let me quote what Imam Ali said. He said, there are of two kinds. We know this very well. We know this. We always quote this. Either your brother in faith or your equals in humanity. That is the common part of this letter we often quote in our communities, especially when we discuss interfaith and intrafaith work, engaging with people outside the confinement of religion. But this line, in addition to inviting us to integrate within our communities with those that we do not share the same belief, it is also inviting us to have forgiving hearts. People may wrong you. No one is ma'soom. But we need to have a spot in our heart to forgive them the way we expect others to forgive us. If you are a leader who holds a grudge, Baba, you will not be successful. A leader who holds a grudge and you want to retaliate, then it becomes very difficult to succeed. And so it's very, very important, especially to the youngsters within our communities who are aspiring to be leaders. And I repeat, you've got amazing potentials to be good leaders. Learn from these letters of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Number 4, which really is amazing. lesson we learn from this letter of Imam Ali to Malik Ashtar. Imam taught, remove negative people from your circle. Huh? Sometimes you've got people, the spices they bring on board is terrible spice. Bad energy. They come sit, they talk to you nicely. They go behind you, they hammer you. But in your front, in front of people, it's like they are the best for you. Whereas they don't want the growth and the progress of the community. When Imam Ali is telling you remove them, of course, that time Imam Ali was faced with tyrant also. So those tyrants, if you get to know them, remove them. But in our situation, don't give them positions. Don't give them. Yes, I know there's a saying that you have to bring them close so they don't do any harm. You have to gauge and see who, when you bring close, will be good for you, and who, when you distance him a bit, make him part of the general audience, mu'mineen, will be okay for you. So Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam told Malik, those who are negative, everything you bring on board, they put meanings in it. You find in a community, there are people, even if you bring an angel down, they will say it's wrong. Because maybe they don't like you, they had passed with you or something. Because this negativity brings negative energy. So Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam told Malik, be careful about that. And then of course, another lesson we learn is what? Imam Ali alayhi salam said, remove the hatred. You as a leader, when you are there at the helm, make sure you unite the community. Don't enhance the disunity among the members of our community. This one voted for me, this one did not vote for me. I'm going to work with only those who voted for me. These ones are my enemies. No, work. Don't make some of your employees spies for you against other employees. Very, very important. Be it at development society, in the Jamaat level, at business level, at management level. Don't divide and rule like the way we were colonized. We have to be very careful about this. So Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam said, remove hatred amongst your people, amongst those that you lead. Because when they are united, that is the moment you can achieve greater success. But if you are happy with this divide and rule, be rest assured, my dear brother and my dear sister, in the sight of Allah, you are achieving zero. And you've seen it sometimes within our communities. There are those who don't want others to like them, because that makes it easy for them. Whatever they decide, it can be pushed in the community. So Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, you know what he said, and I quote, I'm fasting every knot of hatred in the people. I'm fasting it, every knot of hatred in the people, and cut away from yourself the cause of every enmity. Go talk to them. You as a leader, you realize the person is not happy about you, about certain decisions your team has taken. Go. You know what the Holy Prophet said, Ali Asghar? He said, Ana tabibun dawarun bitubba. I am a medical doctor who circulates with his medication. A leader, you don't sit in your comfort zone with your cup of chai and mandazi and whatever and expect people to always come to you. A good leader is the one who goes to people. And we'll look at it later. Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam did it so many times. And he implemented this letter, wallahi, practically, my dear brothers and sisters. And I believe every one of us who are leaders, print this letter, if not all, some part of it, and paste it somewhere at your workplace or in the house or in your office. You know, like when you go to other countries, the code of conduct at work, employment act, whatever, it is printed. Add this letter of Imam Ali alayhi salam to that, and that will remind you of your responsibilities and your duties, inshallah. Ajali Asghar, now I think I should stop and allow you.
Ahsan, thank you, Sheikh. You know what's amazing, when you're going through this is you find the practicality that is there in these letters, right? It's not just Imam Ali telling Malik Ashtar, this is how I have done it. No, it's informing him and reminding him and advising him on how he can do it, to be the best out there. And I think that is what makes this letter so amazing for us in today, to use it. And I think you gave the best advice. Take it, frame it, and put it in your room, put it in your office, to remind yourself of the principles that are there.
Absolutely.
Sheikh, there's one point that I want you to please elaborate on if you can.
Yeah.
So the very first point that you mentioned, and it was a beautiful point about how Imam Ali was, in fact, he introduces himself that way. He says, I'm the servant of Allah, all right? Even though I'm the empire of this vast community, right? I'm the king, I'm still the servant of Allah. So you being under me, now look at your responsibility, reflect on it. What are some practical things that Imam Ali did to practice this in his life? To remind the public that, look, yes, I am the king, but I'm also a servant of Allah. You as well need to know this. You as well need to remember. What did he do? And some tips for us, inshallah, as leaders, those who are watching, what can they do practically to remind themselves of this point?
Thank you so much, Habibi. I think it's very, very important question. You see, Imam Ali alayhi salam wasn't just a leader who sat in his comfort zone and inspect what people were doing or task people to do whatever he wanted them to do. Amirul Mu'mineen was in the forefront of everything that he asked his companions to do. And let me give you some few examples from the life of this great personality. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, when he moved to Kufa, my dear brothers and my dear sisters, so many things happened. And if you truly want to appreciate the leadership skills of Imam Ali alayhi salam, look at that 4 years, 7 months he had in Kufa. It's amazing. Amazing, unbelievable. When he moved to Kufa, there were those, of course, maybe you would say, lovers of Imam Ali, who did not want to see Imam Ali in pain. Because, by then, he was getting bombarded by the enemies. And you know what happened. But Imam Ali was very steadfast, he was very powerful, he was very strong. So some approached him. This is the practicality of his leadership. Said, why don't you reach out to those people? Make them happy. Meaning the opponent, the enemy, the tyrant, if you like. Share whatever wealth you are sitting on. And you beautifully mentioned Haji Ali Asghar. He was sitting on Islamic treasury. It's massive. The zakat, the khums, massive. It's not like what we are sitting on today, but massive. He had it. It was his time. So they came to him. They said, give them. You know what he said? Atamuruni an atluba nasra bil jawri. Do you really, people, advise me to seek victory by committing injustice? How do you expect me to achieve victory by committing injustice? I will not do that. I'm not going to commit injustice to achieve victory. And hence, when people like Talha and Zubair, or even his own brother Akil, came to him to get their share of the Islamic treasury, look at the practicality. And I really want us to take a lesson from here. When Talha and Zubair came, candle was lit on, and Imam switched off, and he put on another one. They asked him how. What's the difference between the two? Imam said, this one is from Baytul Mal, Islamic treasury, and this is from my personal money. It's a simple lesson, Habib. Sometimes you see light on in our community. After program, it stays on. Asraf, Imam is talking about Asraf. Very, very important. His own brother, Akil, he said, now that you are a leader, I need extra money. Imam Ali looked at Akil. He said, do you see these traders who go to the market in a place called Hira? He said, yes. He said, let's wait. Once they are done selling and go home. Let us go and open their stocks and take some. Akil looked at Imam Ali. He said, do you want Allah to burn me in fire? Then Imam Ali said, I will also be burnt in fire if I give you more than any other person that I lead. Then he said, I will take 3. Akil, you will take 3. Each and everyone will take 3 and no more. This Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. No nepotism. No nepotism. He is the servant of Allah. So really, Imam, again, when it comes to charity, Habibi, common thing, he would go out of his own. To such an extent, he did some charity to people even Imam al-Hassan and Hussein did not know. They only got to know after the departure of Imam Ali from this world. When they were coming back from burial, they found a man sitting and crying. They asked him, why are you crying, oh man? Then the man said, the one who normally take care of me, who normally is been buried. I'm crying tonight. Who will come and knock the door of my house to help me? What am I trying to say here, Habibi? He led by example. He led from front. Delegating is crucial, but not always. He led from front. So the lesson we all learn from here, Habibi, is what? Leaders of our community or aspiring leaders, lead from front. Don't always sit and give authority. Lead. When you lead from front, believe you me or not, people's confidence in you will increase. It will increase. When cleaning the mosque, you will see Imam Ali in the forefront of doing it. He would sit with less advantage within his communities and share a meal with them. So therefore, a servant of Allah, Ali ibn Abi Talib, is trying to highlight to us that as a leader, you must be humble. Be humble. It's very, very important. Humility is the key to success to every single leader. And that is what we learn from here. And I repeat, I'm not talking of only our community is Ashari leaders. Even if in your business, be humble. Be humble. And be trustworthy. And be efficient. These are the things we learn from Imam Ali, alayhi afdalu salatu wassalam. So if you are looking for a practical way to do it, what I will see, as a leader, if it is once a month or once in 2 months, go mix and interact with your people. If you don't have time at all, I'm saying once a month. But at work, you may have time every day. Interact with them. Hear them out. Sometimes sit and eat with them. Wallahi, it goes a long way. One riwayah of Imam Ali again says, he said, be kind to people. They will worship you with their hearts. Be kind. So therefore, practical tip. Go with them, interact with them. Sometimes take a walk with some of them. Why not? Are you okay? Can I do something? Can I serve? Alhamdulillah, we see sometimes in our community during Niyaz, leaders go and serve. Do it. That is the way of Imam Ali. Do not forget, you are a servant of God. And so whatever you do, it has to be to seek the pleasure of Allah and no one else.
I agree, Sheikh. And what's amazing, it starts with the little small things that you can do, right? Because that is what will trigger your, to, continue and to really do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's always the small things that really matter. Yeah?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Sheikh, that takes me to my second point. It was the second advice that you actually gave. You discussed about knowing your audience, right? And really being aware of the roles and responsibilities that your people in your community have. So my question for this is, as a leader or aspiring leaders that are watching the show, what are the best ways to ensure that members of that community or members of that organization that you're leading remain encouraged, they remain motivated to contribute in their roles?
Hassan, thank you so much, Habibi.
Yeah.
This is also a very powerful question. You see, we have something we call adawat, tools of successful leadership or efficient leadership. And I would like to still focus on this letter of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen to extract some of those tools. You see, the first tool, it is called Adatul Ta'thir, the tool of influence. What tool do you explore, do you use to influence your people? Positively, not negatively. Two things, Habibi. Really. Number one, the power of your tongue and the power of your akhlaq. Quwwatul bayan and quwwatul suluk. Power of tongue doesn't mean that you are a speaker. No. But you are able to articulate and tell them in a very plain and clear words or statement. It is something that will help you to influence them positively. And of course, your behavior, your akhlaq, which Imam Ali led it. You know, there was a time Imam Ali was coming from somewhere, returning to Kufa. So on his way, he met a person. You know, Imam Ali sometimes would go out alone. Some companions would try to follow him, like Asbaq bin Nabata, and would tell them, stay behind. I just want to go somewhere alone. Imam Ali. Not entourage, come, this, no. So Imam Ali went out. He was coming back to Kufa. And on his way, he met a man who was also going somewhere. So they started chatting. Imam asked him, where is he going? He told him where he was going, and Imam said, I'm going to Kufa. So they got to a branch where Imam was supposed to branch, you know, to head towards Kufa. But the Imam kept walking with that man, heading towards the direction of that man. The man stopped. He said, you told me you are going to Kufa. This is Kufa direction. You know what Imam Ali said to him? He said, I enjoy your company. I enjoy your company. That's akhlaq of Imam Ali. You know, Ahlul Bayt really attracted people through their akhlaq. So that is the power influential tool we call Adatul Ta'thir. Let's go to the second tool. It is called Adatul Ittisal, tool of connecting with your people. You need to connect. Yes, you are able to influence them. Are you connected, or there is disintegration between them and you? Two things also you need to be able to connect with them. Number one, respect them. Respect them. Don't take them for granted. Ihtiram. Imam Ali respected his lovers and followers. He spoke to them in a very nice way. In addition to respecting them, you truly want to connect with them. You want to stay connected with them. You don't want them to stay away from you. They'll just come mosque or program, but you are not in the heart. Be humble. Tawadu'. It's adatul ittisal, especially our youngsters. You want to become a leader. Be humble. Leadership doesn't mean you are sitting on a throne. When people come with their issues, you get tired. The third one is what you have asked, Habibi. Adatul tahfiz, they call. The tool to make your people remain charged and motivated. Because you want them to be motivated. Sometimes they may be connected with you. Yeah. Sometimes you are able to influence them, maybe because they are scared of you, fine. But are they charged? Are they motivated? If your lovers or your followers are not motivated, you know, you wouldn't enjoy the leadership. How do you make them motivated? I'll give you an example. From the life of Imam Ali and Rasulullah. Let them own the programs. Think about it. How does a leader make his followers own programs? By listening to them. I mentioned it earlier. What do you want? Conduct a survey from time to time. What do you want in the community? Take care of the senior citizens. Take care of the youth. Take care of the women. So you want them to remain motivated, charged, on top of their games, do not impose programs on them. Unless if what they want is unlawful, either from the legal perspective or from the Islamic perspective. But imposing on people programs, forget it. They will not be motivated. They may watch you, they may listen, but they are not motivated. That's very, very important. And not only that, you need the last tool to make this happen. Adatu Tatwir, developmental tool. What is that? You as a leader, you need to seek to develop those around you. Let their development becomes priority to you. It could be financial development, why not? Our communities, alhamdulillah, are trying, but we need to do more. It could be intellectual development. No, if it's at work, promotion. Promote them. Send them for courses. Develop them. Tatwiruhum. Amir al-Mu'minin did that. He sent Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, he was his lover, go become a governor in Egypt. That's promotion. He later on sent Malik Ashtar when things were very tough. He sent the young, the young followers, go. This is promotion for you. This is development for you. That is Mawlai Kainat Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. Like, alhamdulillah, Ali Asghar, Ali Asghar, you are leading this program. That's what I call development. Seriously. That's what development is all about. So as a leader, you truly want to maintain, that Josh, you want people to be charged, to be motivated. Let them feel that what they suggested to you are being implemented, even if it's not all. Ahl al-Bayt did Shura. I can't remember the number of the verse, but it's a very beautiful verse. Allah says to the Holy Prophet, فَعَفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Allahu Akbar. He said, pardon them, Ya Rasulullah, forgive them. Allah said to Rasulullah, forgive them. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ, and ask for Allah's forgiveness on their behalf. وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ, consult them in affairs. Then he said, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ, once you have decided, then فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ, do tawakkal on Allah. So these are the things that to really, insan is easy to handle sometimes. Yes, insan can be complicated, by the way. The most complicated creature, no doubt. But at the same time, also, insan can be easy because insan is full of feelings, full of emotions, you understand? Full of inclination. So it all depends on your leadership skills, man. You need to have that charisma, bro. And then you can smash it, man.
So, Sheikh, now with that, because we know, you just mentioned, insan we're beautiful, we're ashraful makhluqat, but at the same time, we're a difficult creature. It's difficult to handle. So one of the questions that one of the brothers has asked is, so, you mentioned, right? You want Imam Ali has advised Malik Ashtar, you keep the negative people away, but at the same time, make sure you promote unity, make sure you have everyone together, right? You're including everyone. Now, where do you draw the line between these two?
Fantastic.
Where is it where you, yeah, Bismillah.
That's really very important. Where do we draw the line? Because at the end of the day, when we lead, we come across a lot of mayhems, a lot of challenges, a lot of headaches. How do we go about it? Number one, and these are all from the teachings of Prophet and Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. We take cues from their leadership styles. First level, don't seek to eliminate them. Unless, na'udhu billah, they are tyrants. But what Imam Ali mentioned, remove them, it is last solution. First, don't seek to eliminate them. Approach them. Talk to them. If you feel it's not something that you'll be able to do, send someone. Like in our business, we have the HR, for instance. We have a disciplinary committee. Al-Bayt had also. They would sit, they would discuss. Sometimes elders or experienced people within that community, Al-Bayt will ask them to speak to them. Go speak to them. If they are willing to listen, then Alhamdulillah, that should be resolved. If they are not, after series of trying, then of course, you have to put some disciplinary mechanisms in place. That's very, very important. We cannot run a community or a work or a business, entrepreneurship, without barcodes, without some laws, without some disciplinary mechanisms. Otherwise, there will be chaos. And beautifully, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam mentioned, when he was encouraging people to learn Quran, he said, a leader is someone who abides by the Qanun, by the teachings of Almighty Allah Ta'ala. Let me give you a typical example. Someone not a Muslim, Christian, according to some riwayah, took the governor of Imam Ali to court because the governor did something wrong. So, as a leader, when your organization is taken to court, you have to be in the court. Amir al-Mu'minin went to court, and he was the leader of the entire Muslim empire, Habib al-Ghali. This judge, Banna Maskini, is under Imam Ali alayhi salam. But look at Amir, I want to, the law, we have to follow the law. Imam Ali went to court. So the judge addressed that fellow who took Imam Ali to court by his name and father's name. But when addressing Imam Ali, he said, Amir al-Mu'minin, Imam Ali said, no. You have to address me, Ali, the son of Abu Talib. That's the beginning. The way you address him the same way. Address me the same way. Don't add any accolade, whatever, no. Fine. And what happened? The verdict went against Imam Ali's governor. The Christian fellow was standing there. Would this guy accept or not? Was Imam Ali not guy? Will Imam Ali accept or not? Now, Imam Ali said, of course, I've accepted the verdict. My governor was wrong. Then and there, that fellow became a Muslim. That's law. That's law. So, those who want to cause mayhem and want to cause fitna, find ways of talking to them. They are still members of your community. They are still your employees. We cannot ignore them. Find ways to talk to them and be sincere when you approach them in trying to resolve issues. Be sincere. A leader is not someone who, the moment he assumes leadership, you know what? These people, they don't like him. I'm not even going to bother about them. No. But after all the trying, they're still not budging. And they still causing fitna. They still causing problems. Of course, put disciplinary mechanisms around them. You can come to the mosque and pray, fine. You can attend program, fine. But this, we don't want. So we've got our community constitutions. We must follow it because it is agreed by all. And Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam, upon that Hissul Ijtimai he had this sense of community. Amir al-Mu'minin had sense of belonging, Habibi. You know what he said? In one beautiful tradition in Kufa, which is, of course, scholars, when they discuss leadership, they also mention it. Imam Ali said, I will not be proud for anyone to call me the leader of the faithful when I do not share the pains of the people I lead. Wala ushariku fi makarihi dahar. I won't. But at the same time, Imam Ali was very tough. Let me give an example. Fahita was a sister of Imam Ali. He had a sister called Fahita. This sister, her husband was among the Qurayshi who made it difficult for the Holy Prophet. Difficult for the Holy Prophet. Wow. When Muslims migrated to Medina, Imam Ali Rasulullah sent Imam Ali to go to Mecca and make sure all those who are causing those commotions among Quraysh, he disciplined them and deal with them. And so the husband of this sister of Imam Ali, he was keeping those guys in his house, in the house of Imam Ali's sister. So you guess what happened? This is a real story. Read the story of Imam Ali, guys. Imam Ali went to the house, but he put face mask, not the one for corona, proper mask. So Imam Ali put nice one, so that he would not be recognized easily. He went inside the house. The sister was there. She came. She said, no, you cannot come to this house, because she didn't know who was that person. And she said, if you dare come inside this house, I will tell my brother Ali and he will deal with you. Because Imam Ali was very brave and powerful. Then he opened the face. He said, it's me. Imam Ali literally removed all of them from that house and he took them. So when it comes to law, Imam Ali will not budge. You have to follow the rulings, whether it was for him or against him. So likewise, how do we deal with people? We have to deal with them according to the laws and the constitution of our communities. If they are to be taken to the disciplinary hearing, why not? But as I said, beginning, a leader, try as much as you can to bring them. Otherwise, you cannot allow someone to make it difficult for you to lead and to make it difficult for you to realize what you promise people in your manifesto. So we need to take note of that. It's very important.
Excellent. Again, I think it's highlighting the importance of justice. And I think Imam Ali really stood up for that. If there's one thing, you look at his leadership, if there's one thing that highlights the most, it's the way he was just with everything. And I think this is highlighted very well. Asante. So last question, all right, just before we end today's session. Sheikh, this is more now asking for your personal, based on your personal experience, right?
Yeah.
So obviously borrowing from Imam Ali's letter that we've read and that we've gone through, and compounded on your personal research and the experience that you have, what is the final advice that you want to give to aspiring youth that are in our community, that want to take up leadership positions in the community, in their own business, be it in their houses, families that are now growing? We have men and women who are getting married, so the leadership that is required at home or with their family. What advice do you give us here?
Thank you, Hajj Ali. I think, as I mentioned earlier on, our youth are the future leaders of our communities. And it's very, very important. Special attention is given to our youth, because they will carry on with the legacies of our parents and grandparents. So my advice, humble advice to my dear youth, especially our youth who are aspiring to become community leaders, and I will really encourage you all to aspire to lead one way or the other, either in the community or starting up your own business. We need independent people who are self-sufficient. It's very, very important. It doesn't mean only community you become a leader. No, you set up your own business, you can become a leader. My humble advice will be, you need to have a mentor. Mentorship is very important. I know some may not take it seriously, but it's the key, Habibi. You have to look up to someone, and somebody that you can confide with, somebody that you can talk to, and look at the leadership style and skills of that person. When it comes to maybe business, I think this person really, I want to become like him. Alice. Seek the person's advice. So mentorship is crucial. I know here and there in our communities we are trying, but you need someone to you need a guide. Even to such extent in spirituality, we are told, if you truly want to excel to the highest ladder, you need a guide. You need a spiritual guide. You need a spiritual guru, if you like. So the same way here, you want to become a leader, you need. That's first advice. Second advice, in addition to, of course, having mentor, find ways within the community where you can demonstrate your God-given talent and potential. What do I mean? Volunteer. Volunteer. It begins there. You may not be at the helm, but step into volunteer. It could be cleaning the carpet in the mosque. It could be helping the children to cross the street during madrasa time. It could be helping with the car park, which alhamdulillah, our youth are trying their level best, and some of our elders. But volunteerism, from my personal experience, it really helps. It really energizes a person. It, builds that confidence in us. And that's very, very important. And the last but not least, humble suggestion and advice is that be sincere in what you want to do. You will get there. Remember, we mentioned some time ago here, a youth has some unbelievable qualities. The first one, a youth has to be productive. You can't be a youth when you are not productive. That's a psychological definition of a youth. Someone who is productive and creative. So it's very important. Aim high, but in a very reasonable way. In a very reasonable way. And so therefore you need a mentor. Try to volunteer one way or the other. And then of course, do it for the sake of Allah. Seek divine intervention. And with that, you'll not go wrong, Habibi. So look for a mentor if you don't have one from now.
Yeah, so Sheikh, I think, you have given us some ideas for our next sessions that inshallah we should have. You mentioned istikhara. I think, we can spend an entire session discussing when it should be done, when it shouldn't. I think
it's to discuss.
And it's a very big, heavy, hot topic in our community, istikhara. And then, of course, choosing a mentorship. And I think this is more focused on the youth, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned spiritual. The story that came in my mind is Unwan al-Basri, for instance, right? And his interaction with Imam reminds us of this importance of having a spiritual mentor. So that is another topic that inshallah. So Sheikh, I'm hoping that yes, we're ending this session, but it's a start of many more sessions that we'll have together, and especially with these ideas that you've given us.
No, very good. It's a step in the right direction, and I look forward to having more sections of this nature, inshallah.
Inshallah, and it is one of our responsibilities under the core learning subcommittee of the Dar es Salaam. We're looking at capacity building, how we can grow the, the skills of our youth and of our general public. And so I think these are some great topics that we can consider, inshallah.
No, keep it up, man. Really keep it up. I wish the co-learning team, all the best, inshallah, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And for all of us that have tuned in, I am trusting that you guys have learned a lot. The session was very fruitful. Thank you very much, Sheikh Nuru, for the information and for your experience and for your advice. Thank you very much. To the rest, we have a lot of content and a lot of personal development resources available on our social media pages at KSI Core Learning. So please feel free to go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, like us, follow us, and share us. Sheikh, thank you very much again. We really enjoyed it. And we look forward to a lot more sessions, inshallah.
Thank you, Habib. Jazakallah khair, inshallah. Remember us in your du'as, inshallah, Habib.
Inshallah.
Allah, Habibi.
Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.